I'm Steve James, and this is your community affairs program we call 30 Minutes on Thunderbolt Radio and Digital. On this weekend's program, we're featuring highlights of last month's 125th anniversary celebration of the University of Tennessee at Martin. The MC for the event is Bud Grimes, and the first speaker was University of Tennessee System President Randy Boyd.
Well, I'm honored to be here with you this morning and to celebrate UT Martin's 125th anniversary. And what an amazing 125 years that we've had. 125 years of serving the people of Northwest Tennessee across the state and across the nation. I've been asked to share a little bit about the history of UT Martin and some of the many amazing firsts that it had along the way. And that's fairly easy to do, but I was also asked to keep it within 5 minutes. That's a little harder to do, so I'm going to try. But first, I thought I'd share a few personal firsts. As many of you know, my family is from this region, from Kenton, Tennessee, just 20 miles from here. Everybody knows home of the? You know you're home when people can finish that sentence. Some of my earliest memories of my childhood was with my grandfather at Kenton, Tennessee. And I remember him every day dressing in his police uniform, putting on his gun, and leaving to go to work. Never knew exactly where he went until many years after he passed. And I found out that he was coming to work at UT Martin to be a police officer here and keeping our students safe. In any family, it's always important to be the first one in your family's history to go to college. In the Boyd's family history, the first of us ever to go to college was my uncle, Ricky Boyd, from Union City. He graduated from UT Martin in 1972. He paved the way for the rest of us because of UT Martin. And it seems only right that my very first day on the job as the president of the University of Tennessee system 7 years ago was right here at UT Martin. But let me share some history of UT Martin. And I'll break the history down into three pieces. So first, the early years. The Hall Moody Institute was founded in 1900. Put that in context, 1900 people were still riding around in horses and trains, and the first Ford plant wasn't built until 1903. Hall Moody was one of the first institutions of higher learning in rural West Tennessee. And like my family, it created life-changing opportunities for thousands of people and generations to come. It was the beginning of a long history of firsts. The next phase was started in 1927. Thanks to the lobbying of the local community leaders and legislators, the campus became the first campus outside of Knoxville, becoming UT's junior college in 1927, our first branch campus. Also to put in context, in 1927, Charles Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic. It took him more than 33 hours to fly from New York to Paris, just in time to arrive for the world's largest fish fry. Wait, that's the wrong Paris. As UT Junior College, our mascots have been the Junior Vols, then they became the Baby Vols, then the Pacers, and now finally the Skyhawks. I think this mascot's going to be here to stay. Our current phase began in 1967 when the university officially became UT Martin, just 2 years before NASA and humans walked on the moon, another first. In 1986, Dr. Margaret Perry became the first UT Martin graduate to serve as its chancellor. And she became the first woman in the history of the state of Tennessee to lead a public four-year institution, and the first woman in the UT system. Now, just for your reference, 3 of our 5 chancellors are females, but UT Martin was the first. And then in 2023, Dr. Yancey Freeman continues that legacy today as the first African-American chancellor in the history of the University of Tennessee system. So in closing, UT Martin has had a history of firsts. And together, we're here on a new first, making this the greatest decade in the history of the University of Tennessee. And it cannot be the greatest decade in the history of the University of Tennessee if it's not the greatest decade in the history of the University of Tennessee at Martin. And we're on our way to doing that. We've opened the new Latimer Smith Engineering Building, a science building. We've started the construction on the new test hub. And we're starting a new building for the College of Business and Global Affairs. We're also building a new residence hall. Why all the construction? Because enrollment is booming. Last year, UT Martin had an 8% increase, leading all UT campuses, and this year they matched it with another 8% increase, setting records and surpassing enrollment goals of over 8,000 students this year. One last paragraph I was going to divert and just say a big shout out to our General Assembly that's here today and our governor. We brag about all all this great construction, all the great growth, but we couldn't do it if we weren't blessed to be in the great state of Tennessee. We are atypical. If you go across the country, states are cutting funding, cutting their support to higher education, but not in the state of Tennessee. So thank all of you for your great support. So today, we honor and thank all those who have come before us. Through their pioneering first, they have created the foundation for us to thrive. Let us continue to honor them by making this the greatest decade in the history of UT Martin, and in turn, build the foundation for those that will follow us for the next 125 years. Thank you.
Thank you, President Boyd. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Well, our next speaker is Dr. Yancey Freeman, Sr., UT Martin's 12th Chancellor. He's also a first-generation college graduate and is deeply committed to student success and institutional excellence. Chancellor Freeman fosters a welcoming and supportive environment that empowers students, faculty, and staff to thrive. Now, if you were on social media last night and kind of watched lip sync from a distance, he and Raphael were there with a few thousand of their closest friends. I don't know if they ever went home or not, so we're glad they're here. They look like they're in a big time. His tireless efforts serve to strengthen UT Martin's role as a leader in academic innovation and regional development. His passion for UTM provides opportunities for our students to achieve while they're on this campus, our regional centers, and beyond. Please honor our Chancellor, Dr. Yancey Freeman.
Well, good morning. It is wonderful to see all of you. You guys brought out the great weather today. It was raining earlier this week and kind of disruptive to our homecoming celebration, but the sun is shining today and it feels really good. There's a great breeze, and this is a great day to celebrate 125 years of existence. I am filled with joy and great inspiration as I look out into the audience, and I see the many faces of everyone of the individuals who make UTM a great place to work, a great place to study, and a great place to learn. 125 years. Let's just think about that for a moment. That's more than a century of students walking these grounds, of faculty shaping minds and futures, of communities coming together to build something bigger than themselves. Today, I am thankful because I stand on the shoulders of these folks who are sitting before me today and everything that they did to develop this institution. Our founders planted seeds of hope right here in West Tennessee, and those seeds have grown into a thriving university that we celebrate today. From our earliest beginnings as Hall Moody Institute, to our time as the University of Tennessee Junior College, and now as the absolutely proud University of Tennessee at Martin, this institution has never stopped evolving, never stopped serving, and never stopped believing in its purpose. We have faced world wars, economic downturns, social change, and global pandemics. And through it all, UT Martin has remained a constant, a place of learning, a place of leadership, and a place where everyone belongs. Our legacy is written in the successes of our students, in the teachers shaping young minds, the nurses who are caring for patients, the farmers feeding our world, the entrepreneurs who are driving innovation, and the leaders serving their communities with heart and integrity. That is the story of UT Martin, a story of perseverance, of purpose, and of people who never stop believing in what education can do. Education transforms lives, and UTM provides a transformational experience in the lives of every individual who engages with this university. I've been suggesting an enhanced philosophy for our campus. Simply put, it is every student, every time. Y'all repeat, every student, every time. Every student, every time. UTM does not abandon, we do not disregard, or do we devalue our students. It means we do everything in our power to ensure that our students who are willing to work hard have a pathway to success. It means we celebrate the wins and use failure as an opportunity to grow and learn. We support, we nurture, we encourage, and we inspire. And finally, it means that it does not matter where you came from or what you have. UTM is the place to prepare you for getting to your dreams. But today is not about looking back, it's about looking ahead. The next 125 years, hopefully I'll be gone by then, will bring new challenges, new opportunities, and new possibilities. And I believe the University of Tennessee at Martin is ready for them. We will continue to be a university that leads with compassion, that values people, that drives innovation, and that stays true to its roots, empowering students to rise, to lead, and to serve. So as we celebrate this milestone, let us make a promise to carry forward the spirit that built this place, a promise to dream bigger, to reach higher, and to serve better. Because the future of UT Martin isn't written in the buildings or the archives, it's written in every single person who is sitting here. In our students, our faculty, our alumni, and our community. And every person who believes that what starts here can change the world. So let us celebrate our past, let us embrace our present, but let us boldly step into the future together as one UT Martin family. Happy 125th anniversary, Skyhawks. Our best days are still ahead. Go Skyhawks.
Well, our next speaker is Ms. Ashley Mallon. She's a junior finance major from Dresden and serves as a student trustee to the University of Tennessee Board of Trustees. In addition to this role, she's very active. She serves as the iHeart UTM chair for the Student Alumni Council, is a Student Government Association senator, serves as vice president of the Financial Management Association, and is active in numerous other roles across campus. And by the way, she goes to class. She's a good student too. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Ashley Mallon.
I'm honored to be here today, not only to get to speak in front of such a special crowd of exceptional people, but have been chosen to represent the president of what UT Martin stands for. As someone who has grown up in Weakley County, UTM has been extremely present in almost every single aspect of my life. I have sat in this auditorium through countless speeches and events throughout middle school and high school, never with the thought that I would have the privilege I have of standing up here in front of you all today. When I started at UT Martin, I continued the tradition of being as involved as I was in high school. Mr. Grimes stole my thunder, but I'm going to go through that list again. I'm a part of the many diverse organizations that UT Martin has to offer. I served as a freshman council member of SGA before being elected as a senator for the College of Business. I'm in the Ned Ray McWhorter Leadership Institute, a member of the Student Advisory Board for the College of Business, and the iHeart UTM chair for the Student Alumni Council. But the position that I hold closest to my heart was being nominated, elected, and voted on by the Board of Trustees to become the student trustee for the UT system. I wear a lot of caps, but the one I take the most seriously is being the student voice for each and every student in our system. The goal of this system, as well as UT Martin, is student experience. There has not been a decision or vote made that has not had the student's best interest being actively advocated for. Being on the board, my role is to advocate for students and give the trustees a differing perspective because I am currently a student that is living that experience that they want to enhance every single day. Having the notion to give my opinion is wanted and heavily sought out for when making those decisions. I know that the best advice I was given before starting college is what you put into the experience is what you are going to receive from that experience. I firmly believe that a student does not leave a UT campus, especially UT Martin, the same person as when they walked in. The limitless opportunities for students right here in a rural small town are ones I never thought I would be participating in. There have been so many innovations on this campus since the beginning to enhance a student's experience. I feel that each chancellor's due diligence continues to reign through each chancellor and will in the future. And the efforts to improve our campus will continue each and every day through our strategic plan that we have in place for the next 5 years. And I can almost bet on the money in my bank account, which it's homecoming and midterm, so $20 is all I have to offer. That on January 1st of 2031, there will be a new plan put in place to begin taking even more forward strides for UT Martin. Everyone has dreams. I never thought that at 19 years old, some of mine would have come true. This past May, I was looking on my phone when a memory popped up from when I graduated high school. In that present moment, I was actually riding on a ferry in Istanbul, Turkey, as I scrolled through the pictures on a travel study that I was participating in. It came full circle to me in that moment that anyone's life can look extremely different when you take advantage of all the opportunities and adventures that life has to offer, especially in college. The previous week, I was voted on by the Board of Trustees as I was waiting to get to tour the Goliath Tower in Athens, Greece. I think that attests to the world of opportunities UT Martin has to offer right here in rural West Tennessee. I am fortunate enough to say that I got to see the Parthenon in Athens, Greece with my own eyes, and all I had to do to get there was simply sign up for a travel study that was posted by a professor on our campus. Getting to see the world beyond what I've always known prepares me more for my future more than anything else ever could. I'm grateful to say that UT Martin is the reason one of my dreams came true at such a young age. Being a part of the student organizations, getting to sit on the Board of Trustees, traveling the world, and taking classes that will one day lead to my goal of becoming an attorney are all happening in the same county that I've lived my entire life. That is also all happening for over 8,000 students on this campus. UT Martin has been an extremely special place that has been created through the dedication of many, many people. I am honored to be the student voice for the next year as I serve my term, and I am honored to have been chosen to represent the president of what UT Martin stands for. But more importantly, I am honored to be living that experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Just excellent. Well, Mr. Art Sparks, principal at Alexander Thompson Arnold, is a 1976 graduate of what is now UT Martin's College of Business and Global Affairs. Art currently serves as chair of the UT Martin Advisory Board and vice chair of the UT Foundation Board of Directors. He's a respected Union City resident who received the 2025 Pride of Albina County Award for his more than 4 decades of service in his profession and community. He's widely recognized for his success as a businessman and his dedication to fostering growth and development in the region. But to many of us, he's the most enthusiastic Golden Tornado and Skyhawk fan you'll ever meet. Let's welcome Mr. Art Sparks.
The previous speakers had it really easy. They only had to talk about 125 years. The future's in front of us, which is infinite, if only our minds can stop us from thinking about the future. I want to thank them for asking me to come talk about the future. I will laughingly say that when I speak, most of my introductions include a disclaimer about whatever Art is going to say is my opinion and not the university. That's okay, because number one, they have no idea what I'm fixing to say. Number two, I sometimes have no idea what I'm fixing to say. But I will tell you that I speak from my heart and I speak from what I believe. And often my heart and what I believe gets me in trouble and other people in trouble. But again, this is what I believe. Before we can talk about the future, we have to talk about the past, some of which has been talked about. Probably Betty Giles and Bob Carroll were the only 2 people that have been here all 125 years since it opened in 1990. My history with UTM or UTMB actually started in 1957. That was 68 years ago. And no, I'm not in my 90s. But that's when my dad accepted a teaching position here at UT Martin. Thus, UTM has been in my blood for 68 of the 125 years. I remember everything from the Peach Grove, that y'all have no idea where it was, to the home football games in the wooden stands, which are now where the ROTC building stands, to going to basketball games in the gym that was next to the football field. When they built what I consider now to be the old field house where they play volleyball, I thought that was the biggest building there was in the world. Of course, I was only 8 or 9 years old at that time. As I stated, my dad taught here. My mom taught here for a few years after she retired from teaching 8th grade math in Martin. My father-in-law was a professor of military science for the ROTC before he retired from the Army and worked for 30 years in the athletic department. I graduated, obviously, from UT Martin. My sister graduated from UT Martin. My sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and several of my cousins have all graduated from UT Martin. My late wife attended UT Martin. Both of my daughters graduated from UT Martin. One of them actually working here on campus in the athletic department. And now I'm proud that my grandson is a freshman here at UT Martin. I'm not like a lot of these people. Our family has been in college education for a long time. In fact, Logan will be a 5th generation college graduate, which goes back to my Aunt Ella, who owned her diploma, which was issued in 1883, when she received her, what would have been a master's degree. She refused to take it. I have a copy of her diploma that says Mistress of Science from Bethel College, believe it or not. I think she was before her time. So I truly have, my family truly have orange and blood running through my veins. Now, what do we know about the future? We're lucky, and I see Tandy, and I see John Stevens, and I see several other politicians, Johnny Shaw here. We know that we have received the approval for the test hub. This is a collaboration with Dyersburg State Community College and TCAT, which is a novel approach to education, very novel. It will have a regional impact because the businesses will be able to use students for research and development, and most importantly, our students will get hands-on experience working in the real world. We know we have approval for a new College of Business and Global Affairs building, thanks to a generous donation by one of our alumni. I was attending UTM when we moved from the 3rd floor of the administration building to what was then a renovated dorm. It was old and outdated back then, and it's gotten worse. This new building, much like the Latimer Smith building, and what the Latimer Smith building has done for science and mathematics and engineering, this new building will do the same for business in training our students to be and educating them to be future business leaders. We know we have a new dormitory coming on. It's going to replace one of the wide dorms, and yes, the wide dorms were there back in ages when I was here. And while it will not necessarily increase the number of students that can stay on campus, it certainly will give them, let's say, better rooms to what they're more used to. What do we need? Hey, I'm looking at you, John. I'm looking at you, Candy. I'm looking at you, Mr. Shaw. We need a student health services building, and that's already been brought up by Randy. Currently, they're in a residence where if a student is sick, and there are a number of students that are sick, they're all sitting in one small room, and that cannot be good. We need improvements to our agricultural educational facilities, whether it's ag business, research, or animal science. Agriculture still drives our region, and we've got to have improvements there. I think Randy may have made a tour this morning and seen the need of some of those. We need more dorms and or the corporate cooperation with our local officials to work seamlessly with investors to build those apartment complexes or residences. This is imperative, and I see this as one of the biggest struggles that UT Martin has, to be able to house students if we're going to grow. Note that I haven't mentioned athletics yet, and everybody thinks of athletics with me. But we are an educational institution with its primary purpose, to graduate future leaders. But athletics is still the front porch of most universities. Dante Plowman, the chancellor in Knoxville, often tells about the uptick of applications when the University of Tennessee finally beat the University of Alabama. I think there were like 5,000 applications the next day. So don't tell me that athletics is not our front door or our front porch. Athletics is part of a student's experience, and we need some improvements to the Elam Center and indoor practice facility, much like many of the local high schools already have. But Martin doesn't have one, but we will get there. Now, how do we gauge our future? Peter Drucker once said that the best way to predict the future is to create it. We must create our future, and our future does look bright because of the leadership at UT Martin and the leadership at the UT system level, both current leaders and past leaders. We are here because of people sitting on this stage and sitting in the front rows of this auditorium did their job. I applaud their efforts, but I'm not satisfied. Dr. Destin Tucker, Assistant Vice President Chancellor for Enrollment Management, it makes my daughter mad because I always call her Destiny, because her department controls the destiny of UT Martin with new students and things like that. But my daughter will get over it. And so will Destiny, okay? She presented enrollment figures at our last advisory committee meeting. We had an increase of 8% in 2024, as Randy has already pointed out. That was outstanding. We had 7.9% this year, also outstanding. But then she said, we only have to have about a 4% increase to get us where our projections were that were made 2 or 3 years ago. I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy at all with that because we need to continue with the 8%. And we're going to get there. And I am confident because of Destiny or Destin and her administration, we will get there and we will reach Dr. Freeman's goal of 10,000 students by 2030. In closing, and I do have a closing for this, as to the goals of the university, our UT system president, Randy Boyd, is known for embracing bold, transformative goals. And one of his guiding philosophies that I have heard time after time is captured on the quote by Theodore Roosevelt, which is, "Dare mighty things." I challenge everyone in this room to never be satisfied and always strive for the best. If we become satisfied, we become complacent. Success breeds complacency. Complacency breeds failure. I would rather set goals that are hard to reach. Destin, I'd rather set, I want a 10% goal and you only get 9. Instead of a 4% goal and we celebrate because we got 5. My CPA tells me that 9 is better than 5, some way, somehow. So I will consider that a win. You know, if you come in with 9, anything less I'm not going to be happy with. But I probably won't be the chair of the advisory board. I'm supposed to be off now anyway. And I picked on Destin mainly because her job is one that keeps this university going and her staff's job, and she's doing a great job. Again, always support this institution. Always encourage others to support it, whether you are a baby ball or a pacer. It's a great day to be at Skyhawk.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com
and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.